everyone, so I just wanted to show you a quick video on how to use From Day to Night. Actions are really straightforward, really simple to use. You've got a few different options where you can choose between the kind of lights. You've got evening light, midnight and 4 a.m. You can absolutely use a couple of them together as well. So I'm first of all going to darken the scene, and then I'm going to choose, let's go midnight, which it almost is. Okay, so then I'm going to use a 30% opacity brush, and I'm just going to mask that off her. Not all of her, just like going down. That's what we definitely don't want in a halo. Then I'm going to mask a little bit of that darkness back to her dress. Then I'm going to take a nice big black brush at 20% opacity, and I'm just going to spotlight that right there, just to bring that little bit of light over her, like a little spotlight. Okay, so then I'm going to use 4 a.m. with that as well, and it's just going to add those bluer tones in. Just let that play, and I'm just going to turn that down, just turn it off and on. And you can have this as strong or as subtle as you like. So then we have Moonlight Glow. So that's going to bring a cool glow to the image. The warm Moonlight Glow will obviously add a warm glow to the image. I'll turn that off and on so you can see the difference. You can just mask off if there's anywhere you don't want it as well. Then you have, let me see, Cool the Warm Skin, which is pretty self-explanatory. Reduce the glowy highlights if there's anywhere too bright. Soft light, that's just going to give like a soft light all over the image. Then we have Mask on Glow, so if you want to be more precise with where you're adding that glow and you just want to mask it on, then you can do. I'll turn that off and on. Then we have Reduce the Blue, so if anywhere's getting a little bit too blue, you can add that. Cool Everything, so you can mask this wherever you want to mask it, and it's just going to cool wherever you mask down, so it's going to add that little bit of a blue tone to wherever you decide. Then we have Brush on Blur, so I'll play that one. That one, you can brush it right behind your subject, so you don't need to select your subject or anything like that. The action is going to do it for you. So as long as you have the feature select subject, the action will do that for you. So I'm just going to show you that masked on, and I've blurred that background now. Then we have Brush on Light, in case you want to add any more light to the image, and then we've got Midnight Matte, so adding that matte to the image, and obviously you can use the opacity slider to adjust the strength. What you can also do is open the action up, and you can also adjust the depth yourself, so you can bring the matte down, you can bring it up, you can bring the blacks down so it's darker. You can play around with that. So all my actions, I do try and make them so you can open the folder, see what's inside, and have a play around. I want to be as transparent as possible so that you get the best out of the actions. You'll learn more about Photoshop that way as well, if that's what's needed, and it's just so much better for you. Okay, so what I am going to do is add a sky. We do have night sky in here, and that will darken the sky and add some blue to it. I'll just play it so you can see. I'll show you a trick with that as well, actually. And we've also got the sky overlays. So with the night sky, I suggest using a big white brush and just masking down at around 50% opacity. Switch to about 20-30% then to your black brush, and you can mask that up. You can always mask it invert it and mask it on as well. So I'm just going to show you that reducer blues as well. So obviously that's quite blue, so then you could use the reduce blues action to bring some of that blue down. The skies will make a massive difference, so it will really help your image to make it look like a nighttime image. If it's got a nighttime sky, that is going to make a huge difference. Your blending modes will be between multiply, overlay and soft light. You're going to get the best out of them with that. You can absolutely use screen and lighten as well. You can see that's a lot lighter. If you want a true night sky, then you best would want one of these. You can add a layer mask and invert, and then I'll just switch my brush down to about 40% opacity and I'll mask that in. But again, you can use a bigger brush and take it straight over. So you could just use a big brush and bring it straight over. Obviously, I've used the bottom of the sky, so I can't go too far down anyway. And then I'm going to use some of that mask on Glow to just add that little bit more glow to her. Ignore that terrible masking. It's because I'm being quick because I really want to go to bed. So we can add that glow in. And obviously you will take much more time and consideration and concentration with your edit. And let's go for night depth, so I'll add that little bit of depth. You can see that night depth adds that blue tone in as well. If you didn't want that, you can obviously use the tone the blues down. You can also use darken scene, so just because it's at the top and you use it at the beginning, there's absolutely nothing stopping you from using it at the end of an edit as well. Make sure you play with that opacity slider. It can make a massive difference to your image. I'm just going to mask off in that direction. So it is nearly midnight. I'm absolutely exhausted and struggling to keep my eyes open, so I'm not really sure what this looks like, but we'll see before and after anyway. So let's flatten and we'll go to history and take a snapshot and we'll look at before and after. So definitely a good nighttime switch there. You'll be more careful with the masking than I will. And if you want to do any masking and don't want to brush on, just go to select subject. When you do it and you played an action, just make sure you're on a thumbnail before you do select subject, just so that it can select your subject. And then you can do your masking perfectly. Another tip is if you select your subject when you're masking, and then go to modify, contract by about 2, and then go to modify and feather by about the same, and it'll just soften that edge and be a little nicer of a mask for you. But yeah, I hope this helps. It is a very quick edit, but obviously I will do a better one when I'm awake. Take care everyone, bye.